I'm just waiting for Kevin to join. Hey, welcome in. Welcome in. I'm just waiting for our guests to get here and we will be good. So, all right, there we go.
We got
Is it working?
you. Yeah, we
All right,
on. How are
perfect.
you?
I'm doing good. Oh, Armel's here, another curator of KicksCon. So,
Nice.
all right, so just telling people to welcome in. I'm also recording this as well. So it'll go on the Instagram TV as well on our
Okay.
page. Perfect. So I guess we could go ahead and get into it. Real quick, would you like to introduce yourself to the audience?
Well, I'm Kevin Rivera, and I'm former design director at Greats Brand, and now I'm founder of Random Design and Random Clothing, and CEO of Atlica. So just a lot of different umbrellas I'm working on right now. So yeah, that's
Awesome.
a little bit about myself.
Awesome. And I guess we could get started with, I guess, giving us some insight about the sneaker industry, footwear industry, and kind of how you got into it, how other people could possibly get into it, all of that.
I mean, I've always been into kicks. So like growing up, that's definitely I got inspired by MJ himself. Just watching him, and just like literally just started sketching shoes since I was in high school. So, I wanted to go into the industry and find out how to get into the industry, and I found a path going to college in Fashion Institute in New York, and I got my BA bachelor's in accessory design. So I ended up just studying, fashion and trying to get into the mix of footwear design. Um, and normally, like I think ideally, a lot of footwear designers get into the mix of, through industrial design majors. But
Mm-hmm.
I went through fashion, so it was a little bit different. And those times were a little tough in 2009, 2010 era. There was a lot of jobs at those times, so it was really tough to get into the industry. And I ended up getting a couple of internships where networked heavy, because network is huge. Networking and socializing is huge, currently, and back in then it was huge as well. So just being able to network with a lot of people, a lot of designers, and then getting an opportunity after a couple of internships and getting an opportunity to design with a firm called Vita Brands International. So and they do a lot of like licensing with different brands. And that's kind of like how I got my foot in the door, was having a kind of a mentor that's in the Latino community as well, and just he's just like I got to give you an opportunity here.
Mm-hmm.
You remind me of myself when I was a kid, young kid trying to get in the industry as well. So, just being given the opportunity was just, I'm so super humbled by that, and trying to give it back right now these days to to some youngins out there, who want to be in the industry too. So, that's
Absolutely.
kind of how I got into the industry, the beginning stages. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just thinking about it too. It's kind of the same thing with us right now with the coronavirus pandemic and how it's really hard to get jobs, especially for us college students. I know I see a few people that I recognize that are currently in that accessory design footwear major, and they're kind of in the same boat. So I just wanted to say that because we're in kind of the same boat. It's crazy how it goes full circle.
I know I literally just got off a call with one of the accessories classes right now. I was on the call with them, kind of just expressing to them, my path in the industry as well, and they said the same thing, that they're going through down times, and just nervous about the situation with the pandemic, and when they graduate, what do they do and how do they go
Exactly.
about? So it's really it's tough, but I just keep tell everybody, keep your heads up, because that's what I did. I kept at it, and I kept at my passion, and I just never let anybody kind of stop me from going. into my passion and keep getting better, keep drawing, do whatever your craft,
Hmm.
your craft is, just, you know, practice, practice makes perfect. So during those times.
Yeah, absolutely. And I kind of want that kind of brings us into the next question of like, how did you like, what was your path like when you entered that design director position at Greats? Like, how did you get it? And, what
Well,
did your day to day look like?
it's funny because, us where I'm from New York, I'm born and raised, so we're used to hustling out here. So even if we have one job, we try to get another job. So
Hmm.
I was working at Sears and Kmart in about, I think it was like 2012, 2013, around that era time. And I went on Instagram, and Instagram was just jumped off. It's still like young. And Greats had posted a position, like just a freelance position, and I said, F it, like, try it,
Hmm.
and I ended up designing a collection for Greats back then, and it did really well, right? They loved it. Um, Never heard back from them, and I ended up, taking being at J.C. Penney's at the time, so I went from Sears to J.C. Penney's, changed jobs with like 3 years difference. And
Hmm.
after that, I ended up wanting to elevate myself a little more. So, I network, I talk to a lot of people. I know a lot of people in the industry. It's a small industry. A friend of mine named Will, who's in the industry, gave me, he's like, look out for you, he hit me up. He's like, yo, the founder of Greats is looking for a design director. And I'm gonna put your name in there. And that's kind of like, I reached out, and I got the opportunity
Hmm.
to be design director. And to me, it was the right move because I'm a super different designer than being in like a JCPenney and Sears. Like
Hmm.
you learn, it's experience, right? Like it's just everything's an experience. You learn how to merchandise, you know how to do different things than just draw shoes. You know how to build your brand identity, and those are all key factors of being successful in the industry, right?
Hmm.
Overarching. But just being in a startup brand environment, young, designing, a higher end product, that to me was like, I need to get in that door. And to me, that was groundbreaking. And just working within for Greats was huge because I was able to do things that was something more higher end, and manufacture in Italy, and actually work with a different customer that was younger and more into fashion, as instead of like mass market.
Yeah,
So
like that just also makes me think about like how um professors and just like also internships that like people are getting, especially now, it's like you have to be able to brand yourself, and like that brand identity is so huge because like everybody could draw something, everybody has all of these great ideas, but if you don't know how to market yourself, then like
that's a
it's
major
lit.
that's a yeah that's a major factor. Is it's sales, it's the marketing. You gotta market yourself because your product would just get lost. So
Right.
a big point is strategy, sales, marketing yourself. And to me, that's one of the biggest factors. When you're in any job, you have to market yourself in your job, and what you dress, what you wear, what clothes you wear, what kicks you wear,
Hmm.
all that follows you. And that followed me. Even in corporate environments, I still was wearing kicks. I still was wearing
Hmm.
my J's. People try to tell me not to wear this or try to wear a dress code like I'm in high school, and I was like, no, 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 no.
Nah.
I got to be comfortable while I'm creative. Like if,
Hmm.
if I'm not comfortable with my dress, with the way I dress, then I'm not being gonna be creative, and I'm not gonna do my job at the best, right? Like,
Right.
so you have to let me design and dress freely, because if not, we're not creative, like, at all.
Right, that
Creative
authenticity is
block
so,
goes through it, yeah.
yeah,
So it's
absolutely.
huge.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So besides that, I mean, again, I appreciate the opportunity of being here as well. With you,
Yeah.
on this conversation. It's dope. It's dope.
Yeah,
Um,
no problem.
yeah, no, but
And
I
then
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
and then I was just gonna kind of go into that with like how like we were of course talking about like authenticity and just like the importance of that, and like of course like marketing yourself, and I wanted to kind of get some insight on like how you went from kind of like working kind of corporate and kind of like you know, doing stuff for other people and then merging that into your own business venture agency. Like how is that
Well,
going? Like what was that process like?
well, everything kind of like falls into pieces almost. It's like not even planned, or maybe when you do plan it, it's not the right timing. And so I always say is just like, with grades, I had a great time, right? Like, not, no pun intended, but when is your time, when is your end time, and time to move. And after I left grades, the pandemic hit. Everything just started collapsing at one time, and
Mhm.
we all going through it. Like, it's not just me, it's everyone in this world is going through the same shit. Excuse my
Mhm.
language. So
Good.
it's all about continuing to, I do have brands I'm working for and consulting with right now that have product that's launching in January, which is amazing, right? Like, it's continuing to go through, but you try to measure up to saying to yourself, like, hey, I want to build a company, I want to be at make this X dollars, right? And you're like, it doesn't pan out that way, but you got to continue, because if you don't, you never know what your goals are, and measure those measured
Mhm.
at the end of the day. So I'm continuing to take on different projects and work with different brands, and also looking for opportunities as well. I'm never
Mhm.
shying away from working for a big brand.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like, especially now, and I'm just thinking about everyone that we've like worked with so far in KicksCon and just like in the sneaker industry in general, it's like everyone's trying to also do their own thing because, like you said, that New York kind of mentality of like, I need to have another source of income. Like, I have this, but like, that's nice and everything, but like, let me do me. And I feel like, especially as creators, like, even in any industry, but like specifically sneakers, like, you have to have that like you have to execute your own vision. You have like, you know, a a passion for
Yeah,
your
yeah.
thing specifically, because sometimes the corporate doesn't want all of your ideas and doesn't want to execute them, and you're like, I can't just sit here and not do anything with this, you know.
Exactly. That's some of the things that you go through. Like, I wanted to work with Adidas and Nike. That was a dream of mine. Jordan brand. That's what I've worn since I was a kid. And I continue wearing, right? But sometimes, like, your path, your road, things happen, right? Like, and to me, I appreciate the path I took because I was able to learn more than where I would learn in Adidas and Nike, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
from Adidas and Nike's experiences, like, hey, you gonna design a part of a shoe, or you're gonna design a colorway. You're not gonna see a full design process, and I
Mm-hmm.
was able to learn a full design process from the jump of my career. Go to
Mm-hmm.
China, go manufacture, go see the process, costing, see how much a shoe costs, but able to touch and feel 100% the product from start to finish. And that to me was super valuable in that case, and be able to be a chameleon in the industry, design women's, kids, and men's product as well. So
Mm-hmm.
it's to me, it's just, you gotta be ready. Like, and the New Yorkers are always ready. We always like ready to like take on anything. Oh, bring it on, bring it on. You gotta be ready for anything. And so that to me was how my career kind of paved its way, and it continues to pave.
Yeah, and of course, I see some questions here. So people are submitted questions, but before we get into that, one last like main question that I wanted to ask you is like, what's your favorite sneaker you've ever designed, or any sort of collection, the concept of it, and if that's too hard, then like top three, because I know the career's been.
It's tough because I have my favorite, but I do have favorites too that led up to my career. And I think, my core, like, this was my first shoe that I have. This was like 2010.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a brand that I got an opportunity to design, and the company funded it, the idea. And I was, just one of those young, passionate designers, and working at a company, and came up with an idea, and they funded the idea, and it was like, whoa, sick. So
Hmm.
And the concept was a light up shoe. You know, it's kind of dying the battery, but but you can see the lights here. It was
Hmm.
kind of like battery powered lit sneaker, and it was based off the Back to the Future shoe that I have here, the Air Mag. So it was based off this shoe
Hmm.
and the combination of shoes and creating a brand based off that. So like not making a corny like flickering shoe.
Hmm.
And to me that was like this was a stepping stone to for me to learn how to brand myself, how to market, how to do the whole full, you know, just from start to finish product line. And that to me was a huge opportunity. Um, and then my second would be this is for greats. This was the Royal Knit sneaker. This
Oh,
thing like
nice.
this thing is so simple, but it the whole gist of it is that 7 water bottles make up the upper knit of the shoe. So they
Oh, wow.
recycle the 7 water bottles and they turn it into a knit upper. So it's taking care of our planet, you know, and it's a sustainable product. So this was a huge one. And the other product, you know, I have other products, but you know, some stuff like this that hasn't
Hmm.
gone into production development. This is something that's unreleased, but stuff like this that's recyclable, sustainable, just stories
Wow.
like that are super dope. Nira is a brand that I'm launching in January, and that's gonna be
Hmm.
super fire. But we kind of keep it under wraps. But I'll
We
show
got the
you.
exclusive.
But I'll show you like this is just like sole design
Hmm.
of the shoe, and you know sketch. I can guys could tag you on some sketches, but
Hmm.
we can't unveil it yet because we haven't launched it. So, but there's some good stuff working. You know, there's some good stuff coming, and I'm super proud of what I've done so far. You know.
That's so dope. That's so dope. Especially like sustainability and sneakers, like that's so huge. But
Oh yeah, no, for sure, for sure. It's huge. You want to take care of the planet, you know. So that's something that you want to achieve, you know, and it's just all about again all about networking, all about researching and
mhm.
being able to source factories and do all that stuff. And I was what the hell? What was
It
the
was the
question now?
one question thing.
The question just popped up. I was like, what? That caught me. What's the favorite pair of sneakers that you own? Um, that's a good
It's
question.
tough.
I own so many, and you know, it's hard to really answer that question. But I tattooed my first tattoo right here, the Jordan 13,
Oh, nice.
and this was the first shoe that in high school I drew, and that inspired me to become a designer. So that you know, so that was the stepping stone shoe. So I would say that's one of my favorites there, and you know, I give another one. I say I'm looking down the bottom, but you know, Air Max Jordan 1. I mean, this is too much, man. I can't even answer that question, but I think this hits home right here for me. You know, this hits home
Mhm.
because that's kind of what opened the floodgates for me to draw and draw product. So yeah,
And then we
that's your answer.
and then we have two other questions from her too, but she said favorite sneaker collab too.
Oh shit, current. Um, I don't know. I think Union's fucking killing it. I think Union is killing it. I mean, I got my I got my one, you know, my Union ones.
Yeah.
Um, but I think favorite favorite I can't put Virgil up there yet. You know, I mean, Virgil's killing it.
Yeah.
Virgil's killing it, but I say to me that one that hit from the jump is Yeezy and Nike.
Yeah.
Like
That
this
was
right here,
that's
this right
fire.
here was a super pinnacle fucking shoe that
Absolutely.
people went crazy of, but the mixtures of design and taking, you know, retro, you know, the outsole and taking the upper design and all the aesthetics and details, this was huge. You know, Virgil's up there. I'm not denying that. But I think this is what started all that. You know, Yeezy
Yeah.
started all that.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
feel that.
Yeezy paved the way. That's it.
And then what's your favorite part in shoe design from Gia? Gia is also in
Uh
the footwear program at FIT as
oh
well.
really?
Yeah.
My favorite part to design and shoot, like, I mean, is it the process or she's asking the actual part of the shoe?
Process probably part of it.
Um, yeah, I guess if it's part of it, then, or process, I should say, is the concept, being able to put your idea on a paper or on a tablet and be able to just throw lines on there and just like form something and just come up with something and just flow it. Like, just keep flowing and the
Yeah.
ideas and just that to me and seeing that process flow on paper is huge. And then she
Hmm.
said part of, but
Part of, yeah.
part of would be the outsole of the shoe. To me, the outsole is the soul of the shoe, is the heart and soul of the shoe. So whatever it's on, the upper is on. It's, to me, is what guides the shoe into being a success story. So if you don't have a great outsole, your shit might be whack.
And then the
So
last question, promise. All right.
that's okay.
What brand would you work with or collaborate with? Yeah, I feel like you kind of basically answered that one, but like,
Shit. Yeah, I mean, Nike or Adidas is obviously the pinnacle of where you want to get to. So
hmm.
I would, love to put my 2 cents into Nike and more my 2 cents into Adidas at some point in time, and that's a goal of mine, is
Hmm.
to bring my random design and bring it and fuse it into a collab with Nike
Hmm.
or Adidas in the future. But
Hmm.
make something truly happen like that's gonna continue. It might be revolutionary. I don't want to just do a like colorway. I don't want to just take a Jordan one. I want to do something like this brand new, something. And I throw that out there. Fear of God. Jerry Jerry did have a amazing collab, and I appreciate his collaboration because it was a fresh ass like design concept from
Hmm.
start to finish. So it wasn't just taking something and fusing it. It was something like really revolutionary when it came to design too as well. So I
Hmm.
kind of aspire into that collaboration as well.
Hmm.
So
Awesome. And someone did ask another question,
it's
but
okay. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
what's the
I
most
like this.
frustrating part about the sneaker designing process from Aaron J 23 underscore?
Uh, the most frustrating part is when if you work for a company that confines you, is having to not be able to design into like a customer. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
sometimes it's frustrating both ways. Sometimes it's frustrating having too much freedom and you don't have kind of no guidance, right? Like you don't have no path. But sometimes it's kind of frustrating when you're limited and you being taken
Hmm.
away from. So there's two, you know, good battles there, right? Tough battles there. But that will be the most frustrating part when you're kind of like confined and limited to certain things, or
Right.
when you
Like,
design to like
yeah,
it.
like as a graphic design major, it's so frustrating too. Like when you're like if you have a client, and I feel like it's design in general, but like being a designer versus an artist. So it's like you're designing for that client, and especially doing corporate stuff or doing like that type of, if you're contracted, then it's like I have this dope idea and they're like, no. Like it's so annoying,
It's
but
happened to me so many times, and it's like I believe in that, and then you have like different layers come in, like VPs, and then you have the directors, and then you have
mhm,
etc. And they'll come in and they'll like, oh,
change everything.
that's sick, or that's not sick, and then they'll change everything, and then you have to like redo everything, and
Right.
there's no justification there. It's just person. It's they don't want to admit sometimes it's more personal, and it shouldn't
Mhm.
be personal because you know what? That's their job. You're under one pillar, so we're all like designing into that brand or that customer. Then we're
Mhm.
doing our job correctly. But sometimes these higher ups, they don't want to admit to it, but they throw their
Right.
personal taste into it, which is wrong.
Mhm.
So that's a big challenge. Sometimes.
Mhm. And that's why it's good to start your own thing and then just put that in there and be like, this is what I'm doing and I'm the director.
It, look, it's always the grass is greener always on the other side. You always want to
Mhm.
start your own shit and you think it's easy, but yeah, I mean, I have friends like Will and a lot of these guys in the industry that that they'll tell you that shit ain't easy, you know, because
Hmm.
it's about organization, it's about, you know, keeping, you know, not just chilling and relaxing and watching Netflix. You got to be
Hmm.
working and grinding more to make that salary back or
Right.
to make, you know, sell a product. So,
Hmm.
you know, you have, it's a lot of organization and there's a lot of just, you know, you have to manage yourself and
Hmm.
you know, so it's not easy in both ways. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
usually, usually if you work yourself in your career to get to that point, and you have that management aspect, and you can manage yourself, then it becomes a little easier. It
Yeah.
should be. So, no,
And I
it's
think that's
amazing.
a great note to end on. That was a great song. First kick live chats with Kevin. That was dope.
Nah, thank you guys. Thank you for the opportunity, and
Of course.
thank everybody for coming through and supporting as well. Like, and you know, follow the IG,
Yeah.
and if you guys any questions, DM me and or email me, whatever. Definitely open to, you know, mentoring, and to helping out, you know, anybody during tough situations and wanting to get on board into footwear or fashion aspect. You know, you got to give back and you got to help each other out because everybody's going through the same shit during this pandemic. So, you know, so I appreciate everything, and we be in
Yeah.
touch soon.
Yeah, no problem. And of course, we got a whole bunch of stuff coming out. We're trying to actually make this a physical event. So pray for us.
I
But we're trying to,
know.
but this pandemic, like,
Soon, hopefully things get better. I mean, tonight's the heavyweight battle between the
oh,
debaters,
Lord.
which I'm kind of like not looking forward to, but I'm looking forward to at the same time. So,
Hmm.
you know, we gotta vote. We gotta vote. That's a
Absolutely.
huge. You know, we want to get through this shit, then we gotta vote,
Facts.
and whoever the hell, you know, guys vote for is your decision. But all I say is vote, make your voices
Hmm.
heard because if not, we're not gonna come out of this really well. And I think that you know we the note I leave it on is that we all have to support each other, small businesses,
Hmm.
black businesses, Latin business, Latino businesses. We all have to support each other. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because this BS about like we're gonna do it on our own. You know, in these times, yo, it ain't happening. So
Right.
we gotta all support each other, color, brown, whatever color you are. We all in it together. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So support each other, and Nike's always gonna be Nike and make millions of dollars, and Adidas, you know. But at the end of the day, we're the people that are gonna continue this and to pioneer and grow this business and businesses and products. So we definitely got to help each other out and keep it growing. All right.
Perfect. And definitely second that, third that, all of that.
All
Well,
right.
thank
Well,
you so much for joining.
thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right.
All right. All
Bye.
right.